What's happening YouTube? Joey Ball's Clutch Up Garage. Welcome back to the channel. I got some exciting news. I got a free motorcycle. Now I know that sounds crazy. I saved this thing from the crusher. I was getting ready to be scrapped and right place, right time. And they're like, hey, you can have it if you want it. Okay, never going to turn down a free motorcycle. Well, come to find out, this is a 2004 CBR 1000 RR Fireblade. Kind of branching out my realm here. Usually I'm American-made, American V-twin, or dirt bikes. And this is really the first street bike I've got a chance to work on. So as you can tell, it was wrecked. It's not bent up. It's just missing the headlight, front cowl, and then, of course, all the plastics I'm going to replace. So yeah, it's got some broken bolts, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I did start it. I literally picked it up, brought it to the house. I could turn the key on, I could hear the fuel pump kick on, so I was like, I think it's gonna start. Put some power to it, hit the start button, this thing fired right off. So saved it from the crusher. We're gonna do a little build on it. It really doesn't need much. The clutch levers broke off, so I got a new one of those on the way. Take these swing arm extensions off, those are junk. All the pegs are still here, a little bent, but they're here. Battery's still good. It sat for like a year over there. I mean, I checked the coolant. It's missing the coolant line. It did come off. So check that. Check the radiator, headlight. I said plastics, clutch, chain. Needs a front tire. Front tire is pretty dry rotted. But past that, it's going to be a full bike. So today I have a chain. I have, what else do I have? Oh, levers. They'll actually be here tomorrow, but I'll put it all in one video. But today, right now, what I'm going to do is just tear all this plastic off, get down to the meat and potatoes of it, probably get these swing arm extensions off this thing, maybe take the wheels off, clean up the rotors because they're still good. They're not bent. It's got good brakes on it, and I will start it for you guys so you can hear it. So, street bike build, number one, first one ever. Let's get into it. All right, I'll give you guys a little sound clip of it. It's got a Toche, I'm not even sure how to say it, exhaust on it. Had the battery plugged up for like an hour, so we'll see if it has enough juice to start up. So, step one of this is getting this crusty old chain off there. You know, sitting outside for a year was not nice to it. So, we're going to go ahead and get it off there. It still rolls, believe it or not, being so rusty, but do have a new chain on the way. There's some wiring I need to fix on this too. It's not like it's bad wiring, but it's just been a little rigged in a couple spots. So I'm going to break this chain off here. Throw it in the garbage. Oops. Pop that all the way loose. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to do a street bike type build. Never done one, so should be kind of cool. And I already have went a little crazy. Once I found out it ran, I was like, okay, well, we got a pretty cool bike here. So I already have plastics on the way. All the fairing stays are still on the bike. Some are kind of bent, which that'll be easy enough to bend back. And then, other than that, plastics and some levers and fix some wiring, fix the radiator issue. This is a tube that came off here. It was completely off, but I think it's still in good shape. It does have some heat wrap on the exhaust. I'm not super into that, so we'll take that off. But yeah, it's a pretty cool bike. That's got to be like 200 links on this thing. There's the old chain off the bike. Don't need it. It's lowered too, but the lowering link has an adjustable spot that we are going to move back up, so that way we can lift it back up. And there was a lift, I don't know what you call them on street bikes, lift stay right here. It ripped off, but it didn't rip into the swing arm. It just ripped off the welds. So no structural damage to the swing arm. It just doesn't have the lift there, but we have, you know, the flat style lifts to be able to lift it up still. Other than that, this thing is pretty much a complete bike, which is pretty crazy. So, and free. I mean, you can't beat it. So what I'm going to do now is pop the rear wheel off, and then we'll work on taking these dumb swing arm extensions off this thing. I hate those. Super trash. Those are super terrible. Good for going in a straight line, but nothing past that is good about those. So we'll take all this off. Today what I'd like to get done is make sure the radiator doesn't leak, get all the radiator fluid that's still in it maybe out of it. There's some wiring nuts here. The wiring is hooked in the right place. They just have wiring nuts on them, which is a no bueno on a motorcycle. So we're going to pull those wiring nuts off, solder them together, do it the right way. There's a couple broken bolts up here that hold the tank on, or well, the tank cover. We'll take those off. But so before I take this all off, we're going to go ahead and just strip the plastics real quick, get it all out of the way so we can kind of get down and see what we're working with. So the frame took no damage. It was just laid over. And some wiring took some damage up there, but it's just like blinker wires, which we're not going to run blinkers anyway. And then this tip sensor, I think it belongs over behind this. We're going to find all that out. That's another thing. I got to figure out where all this wiring is supposed to be routed, because it was definitely routed wrong from whoever had it before. So no big deal. We will do that. Figure out where it's supposed to go. When they said I can have this bike, I went over and looked at it, and I was like, holy crap, this thing's all there. Now, of course, I will have to apply for an abandoned title, which is no problem. I do own a repair facility. I do have money, time, and material into this bike, so be able to at least make my money back on it. Or I might try to find just a title frame and swap everything over, because this thing's still in pretty good shape, realistically, for what it is. And some broken plastics. Not a huge deal. Those out of the way. And here we are. A bike. Now this wiring down here is messed up. It's all in the right place, it looks like. You got your tube here for your radiators. Got a little crush tube here. Not sure what's supposed to go here. I mean, man, this thing's really not in bad shape at all. Some wrong bolts in wrong places. That's expected. It's a 20-year-old bike. I mean, what, you can't expect perfection, but still pretty sick, man. I mean, I got a deal of a lifetime on it, so I can't complain. Shouldn't be any fluid in that. I'm still learning as we go. I don't know all this stuff, where it runs, where it's supposed to go. Got an oil filter down here. There's a sight glass over here. It does have oil in it. It has too much oil in it, so we're going to change that. Fairing stay here. I'm going to go ahead and, okay, shouldn't be able to do that by hand. Probably get some new proper bolts for that. Gas tank. Fairing stay is here. I don't know if the fan still turns on. It looks, I mean, it rolls fine. It's not touching the radiator or anything, so I would say the fan probably still turns on. I checked the fuses. Fuses are good. Yeah, it just needs cleaned up and everything kind of put back in the right spot where it was. I'm going to go ahead and get this bolt off the other side of the tank and see if we can't get the tank up and out the way. So there's the tank. I got to be careful because the gas cap does not actually go all the way on it. I don't know. I don't know how to lift this up and out. Oh, there is a bolt right here. Looks like we got a 10mm bolt. There we go. That's a little better. All right, we do have a ripped, might be a vacuum line. Don't know anything about these bikes. There's a vacuum. Wiring there. All right, there's a bolt in the bottom of the tank. We are going to pull off. I am learning with you guys. It's already leaking some gas. So, for the time being, set this right there like that. All right, tank's out of the way. Everything down here looks like it should. We're just doing a basic check over today. See what I'm actually getting myself into. All right, I think that should be everything. Yep. Air filter box popped open. Huh. They're dry, but they're clean. Spider in there. They're clean. Very clean. Pull this heat tape off this header because don't wrap your exhaust, guys. Jesus criminy. I see that all the time. Oh, it looks cool. Well, it ruins your fucking exhaust too. So if you want to ruin your shit because you think it looks cool, that's on you. I don't suggest. All right, I'm gonna pop some stuff off, drain this, and then we'll get to taking the rear end apart here. All right, let's see what happens here. Will she leak? So far, so good. I think that's all she'll take right now. What we'll do, get the fuel tank back on, get the air filters back on, then we'll let it warm up, let it bubble. Same old stuff you do on other stuff. Same old crap. Missing a metal insert here for the tank. I would say definitely missing metal inserts here, or at least one. Looks like we got one on the other side. So one metal insert here I probably have. Now we'll fill up this. That seems a little loose. It all feels good. Have water in it. I love people. Definitely had water in it. So that should be about right there. Put that in there. All right. Now, we'll go ahead and again get the air filters back in, get the tank back on, at least set it in there, and we'll start her up again. I'll be right back. All right, we're going to start again. Let this coolant bubble up a little bit. Maybe see if the fan actually turns on. I'm going to have to move that closer to the door. Don't do your own wiring if you don't know what you're doing. Solder, shrink wrap, simple stuff. Solder, shrink wrap. Solder your wires, shrink wrap them, make a loom, be a man. Solder, shrink wrap. Or don't do it. Solder and shrink wrap. Or don't do it. Not twist wires and fucking electrical tape. No. It is solder, shrink wrap. Or leave it to the professionals. Right. One more time here. There was our first heat run. See if the fan works. Get some coolant circulating. And the fan works. Coolant is circulating. Yeah, we are doing pretty good, man. I can't believe that. This bike's 100%. I mean, it's 100% ready to rock. Wait on my plastics to get here. Let's see, we're going to need some little odds and ends, grommets and bolts, and that's expected, though. But, I mean, the battery tray's still there. Subframe straight. Frame is straight. Didn't take any damage. It's ready to rock, man. Really and truly, it is ready to rock. I'm going to do an oil change and get some proper hardware in the tank and get all this swing arm crap off of there first. That's important to me. I don't want that crud. That's stupid. Pull the wheels, get them cleaned up, get those dumbass stickers off of them. Yeah. The lowering link, we're going to move it up so it's not so low. Don't know how big of a pain in the ass that's going to be, but hopefully not too bad. Let this fan run on this for a little bit, get it cooled off, get it topped off with coolant, and then we'll pull it back forward and get the rear swing arm pulled apart and get it straightened out. axle. Oh. All right. Okay, guys, and that is a wrap on the first day of building a free bike. So, got a lot done. Got some stuff cleaned up. Got the coolant filled, burped. It's ready to go. Pulled the front end apart. Cleaned up everything up there. Cleaned the wheel, the front wheel, and the front rotor up. Brakes work. I did put a different lever on the brake here. Just went with black there. I'm waiting on an axle. This axle was all screwed up. It was all marred up. The axle bolt does not go all the way in. We extracted some broken screws. Didn't show that on video. Kind of boring to watch, to be honest with you. But I think I had 4 broken bolts on this. Extracted them all. All the rusty bolts up front, those have been changed, cleaned up. They got nice new bolts in those. All these bolts up here have been tightened down. New bolts up here. Got a headlight that came in. Cleaned up some wiring. There really wasn't much wiring to clean up, just like the wiring for the tail light. It was just twisted together and just taped. So I'm not into that. I like to solder my wires, heat shrink them, and then either tape them up or heat shrink the whole loom. Past that, I am waiting on plastics, a new reservoir for the clutch, because I think these are aftermarket reservoirs. I played hell trying to find the right clutch lever to only realize I don't have the right reservoir on this. So I bought a whole clutch master cylinder, a new lever, Vortex V3 lever for the front. I said plastics. I'm also waiting on, what else am I waiting on? Bolt kit, headlight bulbs. Of course, we're going LED on those. I'm trying to think what else. That's really about it. Of course, we're going to do the oil in it. I will do the oil. I put some new bolts in the tank. That's all held down nice and tight now. The lowering link, I lifted it up. That was on time lapse, but the lowering link has 2 spots, one for regular rod height and one for the lowering link. I put it back to regular rod height. The forks were lifted up to the trees, so that way they were lowered. I pushed them back down to the trees, so it's normal ride height there. That stretched and lowered look is just not for me. It's not practical, especially around here in the twisties. It's just not it. So fixed all that up, fixed the wiring to the regulator. It had wire nuts on it. Again, we're not into that. We're going to solder our wires and heat shrink the loom, make sure it's all right. But past that, the battery's good, exhaust is good, bike runs, waiting on an axle, master cylinder, plastics, headlights here, windshield's on the way with the plastics, gas cap. I did order a new gas cap. This one's all messed up, so I got a nice clean new gas cap coming. And other than that, we're really going to be done. I'm going to decide if I'm going to do the spark plugs. I'm not sure because they are pretty tough to get down to. And it's not something I really look to tear this whole thing down. If it's running fine, and it's truly running fine. I mean, you guys heard on the video. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. The main thing is going to be the clutch master cylinder. Make sure it has good pull, clutch works properly. It works right now with the makeshift lever I got on it. I can see, if you open up this cap right here, you can see down in the clutch basket, the clutches are moving plenty, like they should be. It's just got a sketchy pull. It's only about that much between clutch and no clutch. So once I get the new master cylinder, that'll fix that, and then it'll be time to ride it. Get a couple test rides on it. The fan works. Everything works. So super excited about it. Going to keep building this free bike. And then it's going to be, once it's built, working on getting the abandoned title and all that for it. Shouldn't be a huge process, but some hoops to jump through there. But we'll at least have a built bike, and even if I can't get the abandoned title, who knows? Maybe it'll be a track bike. Maybe I can sell it to somebody for a track bike. Who knows? So got a lot to work on, a lot to talk about. This thing's coming quite along good. I cleaned it up a little bit, just wiped some stuff off. It's looking great. It's running great. Flushed the fluids. Put all that new fluid in there. So we're close. So stay tuned to the channel. We're going to keep building this bike. I have a chain drive getting ready to go on the Road Glide here. Going to do a full how-to step-by-step on that. Other than that, man, tell your friends. Tell them, hey, Clutch Up Garage, go subscribe, like, ring the bell. We are building bikes, having fun, and as soon as the snow's done, we're going to be riding. So thank you guys so much for subscribing, liking the videos. Look forward for more.